Hey guys, Burb here. So today we're back with more scripted videos because I love suffering. Anyways, if you guys know me, you might know that I'm a TDS tryhard.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
And because of that, I've dabbled a bit in speedrunning. And earlier today I was confirming that a previous speedrun I did had been confirmed, which it was. But while I was doing that, I saw some strange speedruns, so today we're going to be attempting to run them and see if we can get a world record. What had initially sparked this interest in some weird TDS speedruns was when I saw this tutorial speedrun about what you would expect. Beat the tutorial as fast as possible. I thought this would have no leeway between runs because of how little difference there is in what you do in the tutorial. I mean, you literally get told what to do, but somehow there was a 32-second time gap between first and last place. The heck? And first and second gap was 2 full seconds, and I did not expect that. What I did not take into account was that this was all reaction time. Usually TDS speedruns are more about planning and, strategizing. It's a tower defense game after all. But this one is actually more about speed and reaction time. So I gave it a go, and for somebody who hasn't played the tutorials since it came out, I think I did pretty good. The game mode is 6 waves long, and we get more towers as we go along. It starts with placing scout, and on my first run, I'm pretty slow at all the placements because I don't remember exactly where they are, and I have to get pretty far up to be able to, do the actual tower defense part quickly. 2 dead normals later, and I place down a sniper. And sadly, we can't change targeting, so the sniper starts kill stealing from the scout, which wastes time. The game makes us place Demo next. And he's pretty helpful here, considering they start spamming crowds of enemies, so I try to make sure he's as far up as possible to get as much use out of the cart control as possible. This wave doesn't matter, because we have hidden enemies leak, which means that it will always end at the same time, no matter what you do. You then have to upgrade Scout and Sniper, which I do Scout really quickly, but Sniper I have a few issues with the menuing. And then next wave we get Medic, who's pretty much irrelevant. I don't even know why it's here. It's basically impossible to get her to attack, so I just place her as soon as I can. Next wave goes slow because Demo starts selling by missing all of his attacks. But right before we get to the final wave we get Minigunner. And I forgot you had to sell Scout and Sniper here, so I lose a bit of time there. Dummy Boss shows up, and we slowly watch it die, and we finish the run with a time of 5 minutes and 46 seconds, which would tie me for 14th. I was not happy with that. I knew I could go faster. My next run actually ended up getting my best time. Well, kind of. But we'll get into that in a bit. This run I tried playing in first person, which I usually do when playing TDS. Which might be why I played better, generally. Some minor issues caused by playing in first person due to me missing some things from the last field of view that I had, but generally it went better. At wave 4 was where we started having some time saves. Some minor changes in how quickly we killed the enemies. As well as wave 5 also having that, and I'm not 100% sure if wave 6 went faster, but regardless, we ended up with a time of 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And then after that I did a bunch of other irrelevant runs, none of which beat that 5 minute 30 second time. But I mean, hey, I was satisfied with moving from 14th place to 2nd place, which is good enough for me. But I decided to move on to the next speedrun. Level 10 speedrun? Basically, this is booting up a new account to getting to level 10. Which I spent way too much time finding out is 687.5 experience just to not use the information in routing. Actually, I thought about doing Crook percent instead, but considering how long the only current run there is and also how much experience you need for that, I decided against it. Perhaps in the future I might make its own video. As I go make a new account with an awesome username and I join up TDS and start the run. Immediately I go into the tutorial. Since I just did a bunch of tutorial speedruns, I get a pretty good time being better than my previous bests. Since it wasn't world record, I decided not to submit it because I also planned on submitting this run. And it would be kind of weird if I just kind of submitted the same run to do 2 different leaderboards. From doing the tutorial, I got 200 whole experience and 600 coins. The XP is almost double what Fallen gives, and also the coins is enough to get Demo and Hunter, which really help with the next 2 runs, as those are the only towers I managed to buy during this. Speaking of, as soon as I get back to the lobby, I buy those, which causes a bug with the tutorial in the lobby because it tries to get you to buy demo, but because I already had demo, it, kind of bugged. But I rejoin, and I hop into around to the easy mode. Because of the fact that easy mode gives a badge that gives 75 extra experience, I decided to go for that first. Once the round starts, I realized that I did not join the Paradoxum Games group before starting the run, but now it wasn't worth leaving because it would have just been a waste of time. I used scouts for early game, which went pretty well, but wasn't the fastest thing ever. I got demo to handle the slows quickly. I placed Hunter for the abnormal boss, which, after the buff it got, Hunter is kind of goated. Hunters were pretty much doing everything from then on, killing kittens, handling the other abnormal bosses, defeating breakers. Hunters further back for range efficiency, as well as being out of range of Gravedigger's Stomp. Giant boss goes surprisingly well, and hidden boss didn't get too far either. Wave 20 housed a slow boss, a hidden boss, and a necromancer, which were all sent out at the same time, which seems like it could be an issue, but we defeated them rather easily, and almost defeated the slow boss before the skip prompt appeared. Wave 22 gives us some leaks, but I handled them pretty easily with a scout. Breaker 4s take a bit of time to kill, but the slowdown wasn't too bad, and we got to Gravedigger pretty quickly. And it goes about how you expect. I was afraid of him summoning, which could have caused issues, but he did not summon at all for some reason. And we managed to kill him and end our second round with a time of 9 minutes and 42 seconds. Oh, by the way, I should mention for this round, the timer works by adding up all the end times of the rounds. So actual time spent in the lobby doesn't really matter. And good thing it doesn't, because this lobby run was horrible, because I was getting sidetracked on trying to find where the badge was, but I ended up equipping a mission, and I was cycling through a bunch of menus that were irrelevant. I finally claimed the tab and got my extra 75 experience, and I couldn't really buy any relevant towers aside from maybe Soldier, who could have helped with early game, but I didn't bother. I gotta play Molten mode for the same reason I did easy, because now we have a separate badge, which makes it more efficient than doing easy again. This time I had enough money to start with demo due to Molten's increased starting cash, which makes early game go a lot quicker, and get a scout to make the early game more consistent, considering demo was kind of missing some things. And it was nice to finally be able to change demo's targeting after playing the tutorial so much. Speaking of targetings, they were carrying this run. That and the amazing eco from Molten mode. Normal boss was pretty easy, and I was now spamming hunters. They were killing hiddens pretty easily, they killed normal bosses speedily, and breakers were killed pretty easily with the assistance from demos. Necro was a bit more of an issue due to the normal bosses guarding it, but it wasn't too big of a deal. Demo also hard countered the Moltens, but slow bosses actually posed a minor threat due to me skipping into the second one, but we still managed to skip with minor consequences. Shadow boss was an afterthought, and themselves were no issue. Wave 28 gave us an upgraded version of Wave 20 with 2 slow bosses, 2 necromancers, and 2 hidden bosses. But we handle it pretty well, despite the slow bosses pushing a bit. Speedy boss goes about how you'd expect with this kind of setup, and the giant bosses should have been assigned to what's to come with the breakers. Speaking of, good lord did they screw up this run. I had to get demos towards the middle of the map to handle them, and we barely didn't leak due to Hunter's crazy good range. But right after that, they just sent out more breakers. This time we leaked, but it wasn't worth defending because we could actually survive that. And by now I learned my lesson and waited a bit to skip as to not overwhelm my stuff. Mystery Summoner got absolutely destroyed as he usually does, and eventually we made it to Molten Boss. Unlike Gravedigger, Molten Boss loved summoning. Now in the past I would have cheesed this by putting my towers on last, because if you killed Molten Boss first, it would end the round because the summons weren't part of the wave. But now, you have to kill everything, summon or not, for the wave to end. That makes this fight take significantly longer. Once I reach Hunter limit, I decided to get a few snipers, just assist with the DPS, and then I start microing everything, mainly focusing on getting Hunters up. Eventually, we do manage to kill Molten Boss and claim victory with a time of 5 minutes and 23 seconds. Going back to the lobby, you can see here we have an EXP bug, which shows us to level 6, but in reality, we're probably close to level 8 or 9. But once we claim our EXP, bug fixes, and we can see that we reached level 10, finishing the run. That run ended up being around 30 minutes, which gives us second place on the leaderboard by a while, because, you know, people haven't done these runs in a while. But, hey, I hope you guys liked seeing these runs as much as I did playing them. If you want me to do more videos on TDS speedrunning, let me know. But for right now, that's all. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and yeah. Big Red Burb out.